Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today, we're taking a deep dive into one of America's oldest and most fascinating cities. Boston, Massachusetts. You might know it for the Tea Party or its famous baked beans, but there's so much more hiding in its cobblestone streets. We've dug up 20 surprising and interesting facts that will make you see Beantown in a whole new light. So, grab a cannoli, get comfortable, and let's explore Boston. First up, did you know that Boston is home to the first public park in America? That's right, the Boston Common, established way back in 1634. It wasn't always for picnics and frisbee though. It was originally used for grazing cattle and later for public punishments. A little grim, but a lot of history. Fact number 2, Boston also claims the first public school in the United States, the Boston Latin School. Founded in 1635. It's impressive. List of former students includes 5 signers of the Declaration of Independence, like Benjamin Franklin and John Hancock. Boston built the very first subway system in the United States. The T, as locals call it, opened its first underground line in 1897. While it's known for its occasional delays today, it was a groundbreaking piece of engineering that changed urban travel forever. Fact 4 might be a sweet surprise. The famous chocolate chip cookie was invented just outside Boston. In the 1930s, Ruth Wakefield of the Toll House in Whitman, Massachusetts, chopped up a Nestle chocolate bar. Instead, the bit stayed whole, and the world's most beloved cookie was born. Thank you, Ruth. The Boston Tea Party wasn't just a small protest. On that night, in 1773, colonists dumped 342 chests of tea into the harbor. That's about 92,000 pounds of tea, which would be worth over $1 million today. That's one expensive cup of protest. Here's a quirky one. Ever heard of the Great Molasses Flood of 1919? A massive storage tank holding over 2 million gallons of molasses burst in the North End. It sent a sticky wave crashing through the streets at 35 miles per hour. To this day, some residents claim they can still smell molasses on hot summer days. Fenway Park, home of the Boston Red Sox, is the oldest active ballpark in Major League Baseball. Opened in 1912, it's famous for its unique features, like the towering green monster wall in left field. Fact 8 is a bit of a trick. Revere Beach was the first public beach in America, established in 1896. While you might think it's in Boston proper, it's actually in the city of Revere, just a quick tea ride away. Let's talk about a classic Boston landmark. The famous make-way for ducklings statues in the public garden are based on the beloved 1941. Children, S-Book, tourists, and locals alike love to visit Mrs. Mallard and her 8 ducklings. And you'll often see them dressed up in tiny hats or scarves for different holidays. Fact 10. Harvard University, located just across the river in Cambridge, is the oldest institution of higher learning in the United States. Founded in 1636, it's practically a Boston institution, even if it's technically in another city. Its influence on Boston's intellectual and cultural life is undeniable. Now for a spooky fact. Boston is considered one of America's most haunted cities, with its long history of revolutions, epidemics, and mysterious events. It's no surprise, from the Omni Parker House Hotel to the old Granary Burying Ground. Ghost tours are a popular way to explore the city's darker side. Fact 12 is about a famous ride. Paul Revere's Midnight Ride didn't exactly happen the way the poem says. He wasn't alone. He was part of a larger network of writers, including William Dawes and Samuel Prescott, all trying to warn the colonists, and he probably didn't shout, "The British are coming," because many colonists still considered themselves British. He likely said something more discreet, like, "The regulars are coming out." Here's one for the foodies. The Parker House roll was invented at Boston's Omni Parker House Hotel. This buttery, soft, folded roll became an instant classic. The hotel is also the birthplace of another famous dessert, the Boston cream pie, which is actually a cake, not a pie. Fact 14. The Isabella Stewart Gardner Museum is famous, not just for its incredible art collection, but for a notorious art heist. In 1990, thieves disguised as police officers stole 13 priceless works of art, including pieces by Rembrandt and Vermeer. The crime remains unsolved, and the empty frames still hang on the walls as a reminder. The reward for their return is currently $10 million. Let's talk nicknames. Why is Boston called bean? It goes back to colonial times, when a popular local dish was beans slow-baked in molasses. Sailors and traders passing through associated the city with this meal, and the nickname stuck. Fact 16. The John Hancock Tower, now known as 200 Clarendon Street, had a major problem when it was first built. Its massive glass window panes would pop out and crash to the ground below. They had to replace all 10,344 windows. A huge and expensive fix for the sleek skyscraper. Here's a fun one. The first ever college basketball game might have been played just outside Boston. In 1892, a game was organized in Springfield, Massachusetts by James Naismith, but one of the first intercollegiate games was played between two schools near Boston. It's a bit debated, but the region's role is key. Fact 18. Boston has a skinny house located in the North End. This four-story house is just over 10 feet wide at its widest point. Legend has it that it was built out of spite by a brother who was left only a tiny sliver of land in an inheritance dispute. He wanted to block his other brother's view. Let's dive back into history. The Boston Massacre in 1770, where British soldiers fired on a crowd of colonists, was a pivotal event leading to the Revolution. But did you know that John Adams, who would later become president, defended the British soldiers in court? He believed everyone deserved a fair trial, and he actually won acquittals for most of them. And for a final fact, number 20, Boston has more college students per capita than any other major city in the U.S., with over 50 colleges and universities in the greater Boston area. The city is a vibrant hub of youth, innovation, and intellectual energy, which helps keep this historic city feeling fresh and modern. And there you have it, 20 fascinating facts about Boston. From molasses floods to midnight rides, this city is packed with more stories than you can imagine. I hope you learned something new and feel inspired to visit. Which fact surprised you the most? Let me know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss our next adventure. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.